All right, thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Blueprint newspaper. The major story here says Tinubu at 63rd Independence Anniversary. Our triumphs shall define us as a nation. That's coming from the address the president made. And some riders here announces 25,000 naira pay rise for junior workers, adds 50 million Nigerians to safety net. Nigerians abiding faith, undying despite many adversaries. CHRICED, I guess is an organization speaking there. Another writer here with 25% pay rise. What becomes of minimum wage talk, asks Jide Ojo. President tackling nation's challenges, Nweze speaking. And then we have a picture here of the president and other dignitaries here, talking about the Speaker of the House of Reps as well as the Vice President. We also have the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, and we have the CJN, we have Minister of the FCT here well represented, courting the anniversary cake there. All right, we also have on the front page of the Blueprint, BUA reduces cement price to 3,500 naira per bag. Federal government denies alleged 50 billion naira plea bargain with Emefiele. UBA to anchor H2 profitability on customer-centric values. And after meeting with government, NLC TUC more suspension of planned strike. Well, they have an National Executive Council meeting today, so we will hear from them if they will suspend the strike or go on with the strike. We'll move forward now to the Voice of Liberty. And the major story here, still talking about Nigeria at 63 broadcast. I am different. President Tinubu says, vows to reform economy, fight hunger. And then Nigeria at 63, our country still depends on colonial masters, not independent. An organization is speaking about that. Global Report tags GBR, Katsina State criminal hotspot for illegal arms drugs market. Okay. And Articles Court victory in Chicago useless in Supreme Court appeal. Tinubu's lawyers are saying that. Okay, 25,000 naira low-grade workers' wage increase, not enough. CDC's groups tell Tinubu. All right, you find all the details of the stories on the front page of the Voice of Liberty. To Nature News now. Nigeria at 63, Tinubu pledges to tackle environmental challenges, food scarcity. Nigeria at 63, Tinubu pledges to tackle environmental challenges, food scarcity. And I know some other stories here. How government interventions prevent flooding in Lagos. Green buildings will protect our planet from destruction, Yusuf Taiwo speaking. Mining will confront foreign companies that support banditry, Dele Alake speaking. All right, we move now to the front page of the Daily Trust. Labour presses on to decide on strike today. Federal government approves 35,000 naira provisional wage increase for workers. Removes VAT on diesel for 6 months. Temporary pay rise won't solve hardship, experts tell Tinubu. A sad story here. A tanker explosion kills 8, injures 7 in Delta. Girl child education, county pays 20,000 naira stipend to 45,000 girls. And Tinubu Shetima governors mark 63rd independence anniversary. U.S. court orders Chicago University to release Tinubu's academic records to articles. Some of the stories you find on the front page of the Daily Trust. To the Punch newspaper now. Federal government okays allowance for senior staff. Labour may suspend strike. A wage award now for all cadres of workers, says Gbajabia Miller. VAT on diesel waived for 6 months. Federal government increases allowance to 35,000 naira as Labour rejects 25,000 naira. And organized private sector, that's the OPS again, warns against strike. Right. Independence Day, APC berates PDP. You find the details there. 1 dies, 7 injured in Lagos Ibadan Expressway mishap, crash. Right. All right. You find all of the details of the stories on the front page of the Punch newspaper. To this Nigeria newspaper now, federal government, Labour agree on 35,000 naira wage increment for all workers. President says gesture meant to cushion effect of fuel price hike. NLC to UC reconvene to consider federal government's offer. May suspend planned nationwide strike. Then again, this picture is featuring here where Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Vice President Kashim Shettima, President Bola Tinubu, Speaker House of Representatives Abbas Tajuddin, Chief Justice of Nigeria Justice Olukayode Ariwoola, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory Nyesom Wike, cutting the anniversary cake to mark the 63rd Nigeria's Independence Day at the presidential villa in Abuja yesterday. Then this story, a sad one, scores feared killed in tragic tanker explosion in Ologbo Koko axis of Benin Warri Road. And Wike promises to deliver some FCT road projects in 8 months. You find the story on the top corner there. Serap sues 36 governors over unaccounted 72 billion naira subsidy palliatives. All right, all the details of the story on the front page of this Nigerian newspaper. We move to The Guardian now. Federal government dangles 35,000 naira wage top-up, others as Labour revisits decision. Federal government dangles 35,000 naira wage top-up, others as Labour revisits decision. Okay, and Nigeria at 63, mixed reactions trail Tinubu's anniversary speech, both subsidy measures, casualization, concerns over exploitation, high demand for cheap labor. All right, my husband, not magician, says Oluremi as Adeleke others exhort Nigerians. All the details on the front page of The Guardian newspaper. Kemi.
On the Nigerian News Direct, the big story there is, of course, still on the pending labor strike, billed to hold, to start on Tuesday, October the 3rd. Well, that's if there isn't a positive feedback, so to speak, from the labor now that the attention has shifted to them. News Direct is saying FG's meeting with organized labor hits deadlock. Tinubu reviews workers' wages award to 35,000. Labor rejects the 25,000 naira 6-month allowances for government workers, and according to the information minister, he's quoted to say that Labour will consider federal government's offer. Of course, on subsidy palliative, Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki there said to review the 40,000 naira minimum wage upward. And from the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, it says we have no 50 billion naira plea bargain agreement with Emefiele. And down there on Nigerian News Direct, on the 72 billion naira palliative social accountability rights project group, that SERAP is demanding accountability and has gone on to sue 36 governors in Nigeria on this controversial issue. To Business AM now, and the biggest story there is on Nigeria's 63rd independence anniversary, with insurance experts and practitioners offering hope. This is on Business AM. Insurance practitioners offering hope amid economic adversity. Of course, they're bringing up a spotlight on how the challenges are, but amidst the challenges, they're still saying that there is still cause to remain hopeful. There's another story there on Business AM. It talks about the European Investment Bank, that's the EIB, has released a survey saying that African banks, Nigeria inclusive, maintain resilience amidst, a difficult environment. On certain times, the report says resilient banks, African finance at a crossroad. Moving on now to the leadership. Labour meets over provisional pay offer for workers today. Because many Nigerians will be wondering what next regarding Labour's move to embark on a nationwide strike as from Tuesday. In the meantime, 60 days to go as FG turns heat on MDs of Warri and Port Harcourt refineries, threatens to wield the big stick over December deadline. Upbeat production will halt forex crisis, refineries to produce 160 barrels per day. So many stories on the Nigerian leadership as we see now. Ilebaye wins BB Niger All-Stars edition. And from the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, it says Nigeria's $30 for 30-day minimum wage is extremely poor. Over now to Daily Independent. Biggest story reads, Nigeria value drops 161,266% in 50 years. Analysts seek concerted efforts to stop further depreciation. U.S. court orders release of Tinubu's records, reject objection. That's up there on the Daily Independent. Now, insecurity, decayed infrastructure, rising debt, dog Nigeria at 63. This and more stories on the Daily Independent. The Daily Times is next, and it's huge gains it begins with for Nigeria as the Minister for Aviation, Festus Keyamo, visits the Canada-based headquarters of the United Nations Aviation Sector. That's the International Civil Aviation Organization. He's said to have had successful meetings there. He also visited the Canadian Aviation Electronics Company, all in a bid to bring forth more development in the aviation sector in Nigeria. And, some more stories there. After FG Labour talks, today is decision day, with Labour saying it may call off the proposed strike, the 25,000 naira minimum wage increment now across board, and 15 million indigent families to get 25,000 naira as from October to December of this year. The big story there, though, is an exclusive interview with a driver of the late Sultan of late Sardauna of Sokoto. That's Sir Amadu Bello, who is said to have given a rather interesting perspective of his times with Sir Amadu Bello. Finally, is Punch Sports Extra. And it says, Forza Napoli. This is from Victor Osimhen, who is saying, go Napoli, where despite row with club, is pledging its commitment to the Italian champions. Some more stories there briefly. Super Foxes, Iheanacho Ndidi power Leicester in championship. VAR officials replaced after Liverpool error. And down there on the Confederations Cup, Rivers United qualify for group stage. Veronica.